So, man, guys, good to see y'all. It's been a great week. Busy week. Lots of adventure, lots of things going on. Uh, but yeah, we have a special guest here. Would you introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Joshua Binkley. I'm the owner of OKC On-Site Detailing, and it is a pleasure to be here with you. Thank you for inviting me.
100%. Tell us a little bit about OKC On-Site Detailing. What do you guys do? What's your
Yes,
specialty?
yes. So we specialize in paint corrections and ceramic coatings,
Okay.
and then we also do full service mobile detailing works. We've got a van that comes out to you,
Yeah.
got a nice shop off I-35,
Yeah.
and
A state of the art.
state of the art
So,
facility.
so I have used you guys for personal detailing before, and to be honest, I have not found a company that does a better attention to detail. And that's what detailing is. It's attention to detail. Anybody can drive through a car wash. Anybody can go to Masters and get a little wipe down. But when I get my car cleaned by you guys, it's brand new clean,
I appreciate that.
brand new clean. Like I have no doubts when I refer you guys to know that I'm not going to get bitched at by the person that I referred you to.
Sure.
Yeah. So anyway, but you guys didn't get out like more people with more than your cars, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, we do aquatic vessels, we do airplanes, we do RVs. Really, the bigger the better. We love the big projects. We love to do things that a lot of people will turn down because it's a little too technical, maybe a little bit too expensive. So that's really what we like to specialize in. It's just the bigger the better
Yeah.
jobs.
Love it.
That is so nice. You also, I see that you have some pictures that you have planes
Oh,
and stuff.
yeah.
That is
Yeah,
so,
that's really cool.
it's so,
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in my place.
Yeah.
I take a
From time to time, you know.
yeah.
No, that is a really important detail is customer satisfaction in our business. We're really big, customer service, and then we're detailers after that.
Yeah. Yeah.
We pride ourselves in, our focus not being profits, but of how well the job that we can
Yeah.
do. And that has been our focus for 5 years.
That's solid.
5 years now.
That's super nice because sometimes, as you said, the attention to detail that you guys have. Actually, Jamie was saying, I don't know what happened to that car. Or Shannon, when you cleaned the car, he was like so happy that you got to clean the car.
Yeah, very
So-
well. Does a very good job.
So from there to your attention to detail in there, were you as good at detailing when you started that? Or because I remember that in the past you told me like I had to go through a process. Did that change with your personality? Like the attention to detail?
It's a good question. Yeah, so I've always been a little OCD. I like to have all my, pens and my papers all lined up, nice and straight. I can't just have everything cluttered. So that kind of evolved. I always loved being in cars and the car scene growing up. And, it started out as a hobby and a way to make a little bit of extra money. Everything I've done in life, I've wanted to do it to the best of my ability. So it's actually evolved as time has gone by. What started out as a basic detail service on site, every day I ask myself, how can I make this better? How can I streamline this service, make it more profitable, add more value to the customer? And that's kind of turned into what it is today, to where, there's not a stone left unturned whenever we do a car detail for you.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's cool. How do you? Is that tough to teach detail, like attention to detail, to when you bring in employees?
I think so. I think you have to have a somewhat of a knack to have an interest for, providing that kind of service because not everybody sees it the way that I do. Sometimes they're just there for a paycheck, so whatever will get them by is sufficient. And if you talk to any of my employees, any guys that have ever worked with me, I'm not easy on them. Like the standard is so high, even higher than what I'm able to bring sometimes. But I want that to be the standard for our company.
Yeah.
And I want everybody to reflect that in our business. And to answer your question, it takes months and months. It's not like a 2 week training. You're ready to take the training wheels off. Like they're gonna make mistakes. They're gonna have goofs, and it takes months, if not years, to get them to my level of attention. And at a certain point, you almost have to, not be so hard on your guys because I've, lost guys because of that, lost good workers because I was too hard on them. And so I've learned a lot over the 5 years of owning my own business. I mean, I was in wholesale before I started this, so I did have good training from national on-site detailing companies, gone through management training, everything like that, which really helped kind of set the standard for ours. But then once you get into the private market, oh, the level of critique is so much worse than a dealership, right?
Sure.
You go to a car dealership, you open up the door in there, you see stuff left behind. It's not perfect, but it's okay. It's enough for them to sell the vehicle. What we're doing is like leaving you with this perfect, pristine vehicle. And if we don't deliver that, you're going to go find somebody that does.
Sure.
And that's why we keep that up.
Yeah.
I think it's cool that you can recognize like where you have lost employees and why. And you said you did management training, but management training is not the answer. Yes, that is leadership training.
Yeah.
And that is the experience that you got that taught you how to manage your expectations, rather than having to manage customer expectations. Because
Yes.
if can manage your expectations for employees, in turn, you can bring them to that level, but you're now bringing them to that level rather than forcing them to that level and lose an employee. And now,
Man, I love that.
may have been like
That's my favorite thing.
is forcing them to that.
No, getting them there. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I see it.
it.
Yeah. So I believe that holding people and having a standard, not always holding them accountable to that standard because they're not there yet, but having the standard of absolute, like,
Excellence.
let's just say excellence. I want to use the word excellence, not perfection, but having the standard of excellence, but then also ensuring that you have the grace to be able to lead them to that excellence, right? So I believe that leadership is like a ladder, and excellence is the trophy on top of the monkey bars, right? It's what you get when you get to the top of the monkey bars if you're teaching a child. And along the way, you have to first inspire them, find out what motivates them to want to climb to the next level of excellence, right? Because it's a process. So we have to find out what inspires them. We have to inspire them. Then we have to teach them. Then we have to hold them accountable at that level. And then once they've mastered that level, we do it again. We inspire them to reach the next bar. And it's a continued process. And I think a lot of leaders they don't even understand it even in the slightest. But that's something that I love to do. It's my favorite thing to do, actually. I love to see people start here and go to here and then freaking take it from there. Like, that's my favorite thing.
Yeah. It was always the most rewarding thing to me when a leader younger than me, lower ranked than me, come up to me and go, I got this.
Let's go.
And you, we straight away, now let's go. And by all means, you got this. And then it's like, it's like I down going, I'm like trying to look through the curtains, like, yeah, they got it.
No, that's when you got it.
And so I like setting unachievable goals, right? Because I don't want I don't want to walk to the finish line of here's my goal. I want to run through it because it's still fun, And I think the way that I've been able at points in my life, seasons in my life to be able to do that was my goal was better. It wasn't excellence, it was better. And so I could never achieve that final point where I got to excellence on it. It's never better. But I could always get better. Yeah. And if I get better today, 100%, and then better tomorrow, I'm always moving in that direction. And that is sometimes more achievable for employees. Like, the expectation is that you get better at this every time you do.
And I love that. I mean, I know this isn't the topic, but it's a good topic. In my former landscape company, our motto was better every day.
Yeah.
And when we did our team huddle after our team meetings, we would huddle and we would say the word better. So it would be, 1, 2, 3, better. And every day we strove we strove to be better.
Yeah.
And that was it. So
Yeah. And a 1% improvement. I can't do the math right now, but a 1% improvement every day.
Yeah.
Compounds and can train. I mean, it's more than 365% day.
Yeah.
You know, it is huge.
Yeah.
In an organization.
It is.
And there's been lots of organizations that have seen that change, and their goal was, we're going to make a 1% improvement here. We're going to make a 1% improvement here.
Yeah.
And at the end of the year, it's a completely different organization.
I like that, but sometimes it's complicated, and I thought on a personal level I get frustrated even though I'm putting so much effort. I'm like 1%, it will get me there, but when you're running with guys that's like you, it's like okay, 1% might not. I need 2 days. How can I get a 15-day week? What are we doing? So also for the people on the outside, it's like now that we're working at the restaurant, it's when am I gonna get that position? It's like you're getting better, so you can get in that position.
Yeah.
When's better? Like you need to be better today, be better tomorrow, and then you'll get.
Yeah.
So I think we need to understand that it's a process, and that's something that took me some time.
Yeah.
It is a process. It doesn't happen overnight. And so many people get into trades and they become really good at working in the business, but not on it. And leadership isn't really something that's taught unless you specifically go to like a group or a class or whatever. So for me in my business, it was me critiquing myself, me constantly wanting to become better, right? And I had a really good quote from a friend. I've never forgot this. And whenever I first started my business, I'd ask entrepreneurs and business owners, like guys that were way wealthier than me, and I'd ask them, what's the word of the day? What knowledge do you have? How'd you get to where what made you want to get to where you are today? Some people give you some BS answers, but then some people will give you some just gems. And there's a guy named Thad Jennings, was Jen Coder from here in Oklahoma City. Him and a Spaniard, good friends of mine, and he had told me, you cannot achieve perfection, but you can achieve excellence. And that quote has stuck with me for years and years. I haven't forgotten. I've forgotten a lot of quotes that I've heard over the years, but that's one that I never let go of because you can't achieve perfection, and it really shouldn't even be the goal, but excellence. To provide excellence, to be excellent. That's a different story right there.
Yeah.
And it motivated me in a way that I can't even think enough for.
Yeah. But you've been, as many people in the room, in leadership roles most of your life, either good or bad or whatever. You've been in leadership roles. Can you expand on that? Because maybe that's why you are a great business owner. It's because you've grown up being the head or the top. So in sports, in life, can you expand on?
Yeah, I mean, so I like to look at it at a different perspective as like not being a leader. Like, what is it like for them? What am I looking for in a leader to want to follow them? You know, I sorry, I kind of went blank there, but
yeah, what are you looking like? What are you looking for in a leader? That's what you
put myself in that shoes while also being the best leader that I can for them and being a leader that you want to follow. I haven't always been a leader, but I've seen what a good leader is, and that's what I want to portray is what a strong, understanding, caring. That's been the biggest thing for me is just caring for people. You can't be a good leader if you don't care about them. If they're just a dollar sign to you or labor or whatever, you're never going to be a good leader to them. You've got to actually care about the trajectory of their life, their outside of problems, outside of business. All of those are so important, in my opinion, to be a good, authentic leader. And that's what I strive for every day.
That's great. I do agree. I think empathy it's a huge quality that you need to utilize on leadership, and sometimes it's underutilized. We see the bottom line, and it's like whoever gets us more sales is better, and we don't really care.
So I had this thought for a while, and this is a little off on it, but it's something decent that we don't, leadership isn't naturally taught, right? It's something someone has to go seek out. Is that training to be a good leader? And as a part of my mindset, one of my goals is to teach or to get people to change that mindset, right? Because the greatest leadership lessons I've ever learned in life were not in the classroom. They were watching someone else do it right or do it wrong. The leadership training is everywhere when you go to work every day. It's just whether or not we're observing and learning. The lessons there doesn't mean you're open and learning. We're looking at as a lesson. But every interaction I've had with people, now I can go back. It took a while for me to realize that I am learning in every interaction with people, and that observing other people lead people or fail to lead people is a leadership lesson.
Yes.
And that is the greatest strides I've ever made in my leadership journey. Was not from a book, not from class, not from a webinar or anything. It's the interactions with people, the successes, and the times that it went way off the rails and went wrong, where I can go back and dissect that situation and figure out what happened.
Yeah.
And those have been my greatest leadership tools, the ones that weren't the quote, it was the face someone made when they were given a piece of information, or the aha moment. Like, that's one of my favorite things when teaching people things is like, oh, I get it. Like, that's rewarding. But watching those things has always been the greatest leadership lessons I've ever had.
You have to watch, I believe. Well, you don't have to, but I think the most effective leaders are the ones that want their subordinates' successes above their own.
Yes.
Yes.
That want to see that individual successful above how much they want to be successful.
Yeah.
And the consequence of their subordinates becoming successful then provides them with success.
Yeah.
Right. But greedy or selfishness has no place in true leadership. It doesn't exist.
No.
That is a journey, though. I mean, how in the hell do you rid yourself of selfishness, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, you could be successful on paper, but you're not a good leader. I've seen a lot of bad leaders.
oh yeah, money comes to all people,
Mhm.
depending on how they go about getting it. So financial success, but leadership, yes, you a good leader, and look, man, like there's all the varieties, right? There's people in the beginning just learning this, and then there's the masters, and the masters are always the most. I mean, if they're effective, they are selfless. They will not be effective until they are selfless. They can have the appearance and have the knowledge and talk, but it won't have impact. They're just empty words. It doesn't hit. So yeah. So we're talking about vision, right?
Yeah.
Vision.
Vision and goals.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So vision. I mean, I like the way we started with talking about leadership, and really, for me, vision is my vision is to become a worthy leader, which is a servant, and I choose. Uh, we all have our strengths. Where someone that is good at cooking may say, "I choose to serve in cooking for people. I choose to serve in entertaining for people. I choose to serve in detailing. I choose to serve in whatever. Look, for me to be a servant, I choose to serve in leadership. That is my skill set. That is where I choose to serve. And so my vision for myself is to become a better servant, which therefore says to become a better leader.
Yes.
Right. So how about you guys? Let's talk about vision for everyone. I would like
So for me, I had a leader one time say, our goal is to create a legacy, not become a legacy. And that may not mean a lot to everyone, but in the Marine Corps, we had what we call legacy equipment. It was like old equipment that was still on the shelf. Nobody wanted to use it, but it's still in the system, and that was considered legacy equipment. Old, obsolete stuff that if need happens, we have that back in the equipment. But I don't. No one wanted the legacy equipment, right?
Yeah, it's
old, it's crusty, it's dusty, it's musty.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to do it. It takes 8 times as much work to get half as good of a product. And so for me, I want to create a legacy rather than become a legacy. I don't want to become the old, crusty piece of equipment that's on a shelf that nobody wants to deal with. But rather, I want to leave a legacy of very simple. I want people to, when at my funeral on that day, I want people to be able to say, I am better for having known that person. Yes. That's it. I just want to, my skill set or my interactions with someone or even my opportunity to learn from people, I want them to become better because they knew me. And if I can do that, I'll be content with life.
That summarized your vision.
That's big picture. I want people to be better for having known them. And that doesn't mean I'm always a big giver. Sure. Sometimes the most powerful thing we can do is receive. 100%. Receive the lesson. Yeah. Because they may not be validated to know that lesson is powerful enough to teach people. It's true. You know? Yeah. People have amazing thoughts that never come out of their head. Yeah. Because they are not validated by someone saying, what do you think? And I want people to be better for having known me. That's it.
The rest, but fuck the rest. I mean, look, I talked to my a couple of business partners Wednesday yesterday after we got a document signed, a very important step in a project that we're working on together. And I called them afterwards and I said, gentlemen, I want you to understand, and I'm going to reiterate what I believe. And I said, no matter what, there's only one thing of value on this planet. One thing. People. That everything else is subservient to people. Everything else. And I said, the business is to serve people. Everything we do is to serve people. So as long as we stay aligned on that, we will have a successful business. But if we get misaligned and we forget that our job is to serve people, that people are the priority above all else, we will fail in business.
Absolutely.
And that's what we have to remember. People are the reason for this whole damn planet. The planet was created for people to inhabit. People are the purpose.
And that is so simple in words.
Yeah. Oh shit.
But it's so much more difficult.
Yeah. But it's a thought process that one must adopt, because I'm serving this food. The food is not the purpose. It is what it does for that person. So I'm going to make this food the best so that person has the experience. So that person has nutrients, you know. I'm going to do it for that person. I'm going to clean this floor for that person to have that experience of walking into the Sparker. I'm going to fold this shirt so that that person can see and feel peace in their home. Whatever the hell it is, it's always for the people. Always.
Before George tells us our big one of the awesome.
George doesn't get to talk.
You know, George doesn't get to talk. Yeah, maybe next year. But one tool I've used with teams before was whenever we were working on projects, and it was one of those that's difficult to stay focused. Like, staying focused on people in the business world can be difficult because we have to battle egos, we have to battle the bottom line, because that bottom line.
Well, it serves the people. The bottom line being neglected neglects the people.
Right. But at the same time, like those, when you start focusing, you're like, all right, I gotta take care of this bottom line. Yeah, I'm just gonna take care of the people. But it's like the bottom line can become addictive.
But to become addicting, you have to maintain balance.
Yeah. But the tool we used to use whenever we had something that was like there was competing interests and we wanted to keep one in focus, is we would have like a keyword. And this doesn't work if you don't have a team that all agree and thinking about focus. But we got a keyword like mission. And so whenever we were talking about things and someone started to say something that was maybe misaligned with the goal of, like your example, taking care of people, someone would say people. And that's all I said. Yeah. For us as a team, right? Yep. Let's get back on track.
Yeah.
People. Got it.
Well, so this table, like somebody had to build that table. They weren't thinking about people when they were building that table. They were thinking about the craftsmanship of that table. But what that table does is serves people, right?
Absolutely.
It's not that you don't get sidetracked. It's that you maintain alignment with the core purpose.
Yeah.
Right. So that when in my household, right? Like if I make a mess, I'm not cleaning up the mess because the table's upset that it has coffee on it. The table doesn't give a shit. Okay. My wife gives a shit, you know? So I clean the table, not for the table to feel good, for my wife to feel good.
Yeah.
You know, I don't take care of my truck or my car so that my truck or my car can feel good. Why do I take care of it? So that I can have a more enjoyable experience driving it. So it's more reliable, more efficient, all of the things, right? Same thing in a company. Why do you take care of these assets? Why do we focus on the profitability? Why do we do everything that we do? It all flows back to the people.
Absolutely.
Always. We just have to remember that when we're making decisions and making processes and making procedures, that if they do not ultimately serve the people, then they have no value.
So I like your balance point there, because it's like I've done
And what I teach in business when I'm coaching is you've got the people, and I consider the people, when I say people, I'm talking about the operators of an organization, the employees, but operators, because owners are not employees, but the operators of the organization, I consider those to be the people. So I see it in three parts. I see people, profits, and customers. All right. And they all have to be balanced. And under profits really is the whole company. It's the asset management, it's the facilities management, it's everything, right? But the bottom line is to have a bottom line, you know, and keeping those three elements balanced. What I've experienced is there are times that you have to sacrifice from one of those reservoirs, right? Like let's pretend that they're reservoirs, right? People, profits, and customers. They're full reservoirs. Well, let's say that you accidentally neglect one. You neglect a customer, and you have to ask one of your employees to stay late to fill up the customer, right? So now the customer goes up and the employee goes down, right? You have to make that up to the employee, right? Oh, oops, we gave a discount to the customer because we made a mistake. Now the profits are going down. Okay, now how do we make that back up to the company? Well, we have to get creative, but we have to keep all those cylinders full.
Yeah.
Right? Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
And if you require more from your people to drive profits up, then you better find a way to drive the morale and the care of your people up, or everything will fail. Like you have to keep all the cylinders full, and it's a balancing act.
It is.
And you have to make sure your customers are happy. You have to make sure your profit is happy, and you have to make sure your people are happy, and that's it. And there's times where you have to tell the customer no, and then you fix it. Because if you were to tell the customer yes, it would require too much from your employee, or it would cost the company too much. You have to balance all of this.
And it is.
But-
it's like I think of that analogy like video games.
Yeah.
In video games, whether it's like a racing game where you're building a car out and you're selecting, all right, it's got this much engine,
Yeah,
you took 5 points in engine, and you took 5 points in the ambulance,
and no tires.
no tires. Right? And so you're like a balance.
Yeah.
And at this level of the game, this needs to be in balance.
Right.
Because this is a car moving.
Right.
But as I move up and up, I get more points than you distribute.
Yeah.
And at different points, I'm going to have to move points from here because this isn't a straight line race.
Yeah.
Here, I'm on corners. I'm going to put some more effort in tires. And so you have to balance those things and rebalance.
Yeah.
But you can't ever be successful if you just and you never adjust.
No, it's a constant. Because you will always have to ask. There will be continuous sacrifice to level up. Constant sacrifice. You have to sacrifice profit for growth. You have to sacrifice. Your people sometimes have to sacrifice for the customer. Sometimes your customer has to get told no for the people.
Yep.
There's millions of different sacrifices that must take place to keep your company solvent. But you always have to make that up. I mean, this is just to me, it's a no-brainer. We had rain days, and I knew that after 2 rain days and the guy's getting told, hey, go home after 3 hours, you only work 3 hours. I know your paycheck's gonna suck. Thanks for coming in at 6, but it's 9 o'clock and it started raining, go home. That's shitty. I know that's shitty. I'm a human. I know that's shitty. So there was time and time again, the guys would get called off of work at 11 o'clock. What do I do? This is the 3rd day in a row. Man, I can see them, dragging and kicking dragging their heels, and send somebody to the store. Go grab 200 hot dogs from Sam's and a couple cases of Gatorade. Fill up the ice chest. Fire up the grill. When the guys come back, I want you managers freaking grilling hot dogs for these guys. Let's freaking turn on some music when they come back to this dreary, foggy, rainy day. Let's give them something fun to go home with. Yeah. Simple shit. Costs $80, right? But it's not about that. Because caring for your people isn't always about a monetary gain. It's about give a shit. It's about caring for their mindset. It's about caring for their mental health and their all of the things that go into play when you're caring for a person.
Especially in customer service businesses. How do you send unhappy employees and expect them to be good customers?
Well, they can't. If you don't care for your employees, they won't care for your customers. Why? Because they don't have care in them.
Yeah.
Because you did put it in them. It's the owner's responsibility to care for the people, so that the people have care to get to the customer.
Yeah. And there's days I know I've had to be like, hey, you're off today. I get it. What's going on? Cool. You're going to stay at work because you need to be at work. But I'm going to push you over here. I'm going to have someone else go deal with customers to go deal with your people. Because if you go deal with your people, there's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
But you have to be here. You're just going to go do this. It is also important. We'll deal with the people. And the same thing applies in the business world. You can see someone walk into work and go, they're not here today. I don't know where they're at yet, but they're not here. Now I need to put some focus and effort into that before them not being here cause them to never be able to be here again. So you gotta take care of your people.
So that's the vision, right? We clearly all have a vision of wanting to be leaders, but we didn't hear from George. Maybe he wants to build Red Rider wagons or something. What is your vision, George?
You know what he's becoming? Like the Dusty Boss. He has to. You need to turn up the jets on me. Not you're gonna be doing this. Yeah. No. For me, the vision is people, but I see it in a different way. I would love for people to be presented with the opportunities that I was presented. So becoming the person that God allows to be able to give that opportunity to other people, either with sports, but in general in life.
So through tangibles, you would want to provide them opportunity through tangibles.
Yes, through
Okay. This is all part of it. There's no wrong answer here, gentlemen. Like nothing is less than or
for me, that would be the biggest thing. I think if you're capable, you should have the same opportunity that everyone else does. And I don't think around the world that's a thing.
yeah.
And even capable people in the US get told no just because they don't have good grades.
So through tangibles, you want to provide opportunity.
Yes.
We have, I think, each of us have focused more on the intangibles of leadership. George is saying that his vision for his life is to have tangibles to offer in leadership.
Spaces
right?
so that people can develop, so that people can be successful. And so I would say more tangible things. Plus, they have been told no so many times that there does need to be a mindset shift that they can do it.
Yeah.
So it's
You get told no enough.
if you get told no enough,
If you get told no enough, you step back 10 feet and run through the fucking fence.
yes, but
I'm sorry.
No, true.
That's
No, true.
just me.
No. I could rather shoot, but you still.
The pool was closed at the gym this morning.
No, it was not.
Yeah, it was.
What?
I alarmed went when I went outside.
It's horrible.
I was told no. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, not in regards to that. I agree, but not everyone has the mindset that you have.
I know.
And then we can start working with people that are like, that thing that you believe in, you can do it. Because everyone was telling them, I was taking a class and it's like, if someone tells you no, it's because no one has ever done it, so you should be proud that people are like afraid of you.
Good encouragement, George.
Yeah. So I like opportunity. I've been blessed to be presented there. And I think that's something coming from another country, having a path that has just been a blessing all the way through. Like if you see my path, it makes no sense.
No sense.
Like 0 sense. So,
You started in Venezuela, right? And then migrated to Mexico City.
No, it's that's nothing against Venezuela. So grandpa from Costa Rica, then Mexico City. So this is something that I always have on my mind, but it's like grandson of immigrant, son of immigrant,
So cool.
Immigrant.
Yeah.
And been able to just talk to you guys. Different world. Not everyone has that opportunity, and everyone that works hard, that has a big heart, share. So that's my vision, and that's why I work so hard.
So in the sales world, I used to teach, and I think this is probably pretty common practice across lots of sales industries. But no stands for new opportunity, because that's all it is. A no is just what's the next opportunity, or how do I work around this no to get it to be a yes. You know, and I once heard a leader, I don't remember who it was, but he came in and when he took command, he said, what rules can I break on my own? And which ones do I have to ask permission to break? Because there's always got to be a way around the no. You know, how do I turn this no into a yes? Or how do I accept that no in a way that allows me to focus on the next one? You know, but opportunities, it's a weird thing, right? Because a lot of people are faced with opportunities, they're just not poised to take. And if you look at a lot of the successful people throughout the world, some of the smartest people when computers came around were just too old to take the risk. But then you have the people that Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, who were at the right age where they didn't have a mortgage and 3 kids to worry about. They were at the right age to be able to take that opportunity. And those things, I actually talked to a friend yesterday and about his business. Super awesome. It's just take it off. It's become huge. Looking at like multi-million-dollar acquisitions. But it was because when an opportunity came around, his life was in a point in his life where he was capable of seeing. Because some people don't even get to see the opportunities that are right in front of them because their life doesn't allow it, you know? And he was able to take it before he had so many financial liabilities and responsibilities built in his life to take that risk and go in a new venture. And it's taken off.
I like that. And there's my family is not big into credit. I don't think we understand it, you know. So, but that has put us in a position that we never owe money. So all of our decisions are free decisions. Please. So it's like, okay, I can grab this and take this risk, and it doesn't matter because I don't have to pay for it. And I have payment on the car, and I have payment on certain days. So it's like, okay, if I have to be sitting on this opportunity for 6 months, but I know it's gonna turn out, I'm able to make that decision. And so that's one. And what you were saying, I think it's what the quote of the law is, or that it's when preparation meets opportunity. So it's two things coming together, and then you're able to take advantage of the opportunity. I can be probably offered to be the CEO of $1 million company, but I'm not prepared. Or millions of, and I'm not prepared to do it. So you need to be prepared, and when the opportunity comes, now you're able to take advantage of the opportunity. So working on getting better.
I was telling an employee the day before yesterday. When you come to work, your job is to mop floors for the best damn floor mopper there is. Because that being the best at what you do isn't going to happen when an opportunity comes up. It's going to be who you are, and then an opportunity is going to come. If that opportunity comes up and you're not the best at what you are currently doing, you will not be the best at that opportunity because you have not prepared yourself for it. So if you're the best damn floor mopper, the best server in a restaurant, whatever it is, be the best at it. So that when the big one comes, you're going to be the best at it. That's not a mentality that you just step into. It's like anything else. It's like your muscles. You have to work them to be ready for that big lift. You don't run a marathon without preparing for it. You know, it takes practice. You have to prepare your mind, your body, your spirit to be the best. So that when that opportunity comes, you're prepared for it.
I like what Josh does just because of how excellent he is at his job that allows him to be great at many other things because that's who you are. You know, that attention to detail translates. That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
So,
And the limitations we place on ourselves sometimes can be those roadblocks. Sometimes we don't even think that we're able or capable to be that or do that, whatever it was. I remember I was like 17 years old, 18 years old, working as a car detailer at a dealership here in Oklahoma City. And the service advisor saw me hustling, shaking hands, smiling, letting people out of their doors. And he saw me and he's like, that's what I'm on. And he offered me a job. And I didn't take it. I missed it because of my own perceived I was like, well, I just recently got in some trouble. I have some felonies. I don't think they're ever going to let, and of course they let us service, but everybody in that car dealership's probably fell. Like, there's no position for that felony without being able to take it. But my own perceived, of how I saw myself and limited my ability to move forward into a very well paying position more than car detailing. But I was the only roadblock to my growth on that sense. And I think a lot of people are as well. They haven't, you know, compounded enough wins or actually seeing their own ability to have the confidence to want to put one foot in front of the other and have that vision, if you will. Some people just never get it.
Yeah, you can't visualize success if you've never seen it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like trying to imagine a bridge if you've never seen a bridge before.
Yeah.
But that's why you have to, on a daily basis, build those small successes and small wins in whatever you do, so that when an opportunity comes up, you can visualize yourself succeeding.
Yeah.
Because if you set yourself up to where all you have is failures because you go to work and you're lazy, you only do what's expected of you, maybe not even that, and you're slumming your way through life and accept that for yourself, then you won't be able to visualize anything beyond where you are.
Mm-hmm.
You just can't imagine something you've never seen.
Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, versus now, I don't think there's a position I'm not qualified for. I don't think there's a position that I couldn't.
That you couldn't do.
Yeah, because of my wins and because of my persistence to be better and do, just my life experience. It's, gone from a mindset of this is just what it is, this is what I'm bound by, to I'm bound by nothing and I can do anything that I want.
Yeah.
And it lies in the mindset.
The rest is just education.
Yeah.
But it's all on the foundation of who you are.
Yeah.
But also, like, when you were talking to us before the podcast on the confidence and how that evolved, I think it's just that you're at a different point in your life. You've grown so much from maybe in class, not even trying to not taking a test. Like I've been in positions that I'm like, I don't even want to take this test because I know what the result of this test is. Even if this test is going to help me know where I'm going, I don't want to take it because I don't want it. So that was in the past, that has affected my confidence. From now, what you say, like, I can, even if it's a really high position, you grow and you're getting better so you can fill that position, And in regards to visualization, the exercise that we did one time in a direction, I think that's huge because people sometimes they don't dream or put a plan to achieve their dreams. You look at a car that you like and people are just like, that's a nice car. They never think how they're going to get that car. It's not possible for them to get that car. So finding ways to share that is something that I'm looking at. And I think you do a great exercise in that, like just helping people.
Will you share that?
Yeah. So when we were talking, he was coaching me in so many aspects, and teaching me how to not just have a dream, but put a plan for that dream. So I was just sitting down. So weird because he said, "How tall are you?"
6'4".
And he wanted to hold my hands, so I was like, "Whoa," But no, like it was good. And he's like, "Okay, close your eyes and visualize where you're gonna be in 10 years." Then I share where I'm gonna be living, what my house looks like, where
Made you walk through it.
everything, the car that I'm gonna be driving. When I arrive, what am I gonna see? The kids, everything, right? And then that's a 10-year, and he breaks down the plan. Okay, if you are doing these improvements monetarily and you're moving here, you can get to that goal. So having a plan, now it seems achievable. I did it with my girlfriend, and she's like, I'm at year 5 and I already got it. And I was like, I was just so happy because she's like, okay, I can do it. If I did this, this, and this,
that I know I can do because it seems like baby steps. I'm like, I didn't know what to do after because I'm at year 5 and I already have it. So I was like, that's so amazing, you know, like just seeing a breakdown and people being able to see in the past. I thought that $4,000 was that's it, you know. And then I was able to travel and you're like, okay, if I that's it maybe for me to eat, but if I want to help someone else, where do I go to? You know? So helping people visualize what's next allows them to believe that they can get.
Yeah. If you didn't think that you could get to that 4,000 mark, you never would have been ready for the 8,000 mark. For the 12,000, there's levels to it where you found that confidence. And not to get religious, but I believe that God gives us dreams and desires, and He fulfills those and gives us the tools and the ability that we need to fulfill those. We just have to take the step of faith to move towards those goals. Like whenever I was in prison, I told my family, I told my friends, I'm going to start a car rental business. Now, granted, like I wasn't going to be bound by the family word. I wasn't going to go search for a job where it was very difficult for me to get in. Because of that, I carved my way in what I could do, you know, and going from 8 years ago being in prison to now owning this beautiful shop off I-35, a reputable car detailing company. I didn't think it would happen, but that's what I wanted. That's what I had envisioned in my mind. And now here we are 8 years later, and it's a reality.
Go, baby, go.
That's so funny. I love that and how you started actually that last point. Because sometimes whenever either I get tired or I'm sitting down or I don't really see a way around certain things, I'm like, God didn't put this fire in my ass if I was not gonna like
If it wasn't for you.
if I was not supposed to be if I was not supposed to make it or pursue this, I would not have this. It's not normal.
Yeah.
You know, like this burning fire, like it's not normal. Like I just wouldn't have it. So I go back and say, okay, then let's keep going. So
Yeah.
because there's days that I'm getting crazy. Yeah. But it's like okay. That is
Me too. He wants me to think that I'm not going to make it. This isn't for me. This isn't what God made for me. He's going to try to tell you every lie he can get you to believe.
Well, I think sometimes God gives us these tasks, right? These missions that seem monumental, right? And it's like, whoa, how I don't know about that. I'm not ready for that. But we forget that there's a journey to that point.
Yeah.
The journeys prepare us for other things. And so maybe I don't, but I will be.
Yeah.
Because God told me this is where I'm going.
Yeah.
And along the way, I'll pick up what he left us by the road for me to pick up. There's the management skills. Oh, there's the finances. And as I'm on that path, as long as I stay on that path, I'll be ready.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And another thing I'd like to share with you, like one of the visions, if you will, that God has placed in my heart is speaking to large crowds of people. And in my mind, I'm like, there's no way. That's not me. That must be for someone else, right? And even to this day, like it seems uncomfortable. But what I am being conditioned and put through is leading me to that point. I might be terrified of public speaking. I might be terrified of sharing my story out of judgment right now. It's not forever. That's something that we're working towards. And this right here, this evening, whenever we speak, it's all working towards God's plan of what He has for my life.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree.
Because we're not going to go back to prison, right?
Unless you're like showering with dudes and fighting and playing cards, great
you
time.
know what? That's just as a military, so bang.
Sounds like the military. No.
I think we call it prison like that. So. It gets quiet when stuff drops.
Yeah.
Whoa.
But this is fun stuff. Talking about goals and vision and whatnot, this is what gets me fired up, because it was those same goals that have kind of led me to where I am today. And without them, I wouldn't be. I'd be stagnant. I'd be in the same position because I never made a goal, put it down on paper, and carried out the discipline to execute it. And now that I see somebody that spent years in prison that should technically have failure just stacked against them, I truly believe that anybody, no matter how bad their addiction is, no matter what period they are in their life, God can take them out of that and use it for his glory and his advantage. And that's what he's doing right now through my life. And I'm honored to be able to share my story and be able to give a foundation for people that might not be able to even think of their next goal or their next step of, what drives you? What are you interested in? What, do you enjoy doing? And how can we then put daily steps into action to see those goals become a reality? And that's what I'm passionate about, is serving others and teaching them that they too can do it.
It's such a beautiful testimony. Just because maybe the Josh now you don't even see the old Josh. Old Josh does flex. When we were talking about it, I'm just like, I'm so amazed. And the fact that you say public speaking, I think of all of the four of us, you're the best speaker. Just though Chad is super motivated, the way you're able to structure things, and I'm amazed of it. And it's funny how sometimes, or even our mind plays games in regards to that. But it's just really nice when I get to talk to you and how everything has evolved and the plans you have for the future. Talking about your family and the changes that even though you are working so hard on the business, how much you focus on the baby and the wife and keeping everything balanced and your body, it's when you understand what the story started, you are working towards becoming the hero. Obviously, God's the one, but you're working to become.
I appreciate that for your story. That's what I do it for. Not my own.
Anything else that you guys want to add?
Could you tell me again where your business is located?
Yeah, so we've got a shop located at 3801 Northeast 104th Street, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. It's located on the west side of I-35, just south of Hefner Road. Beautiful complex. We have the only facility in the state of Oklahoma that caters to the needs of boat and RV owners. So Taylor's Wake Shop next door for service. We won the professional detailing contract. You've got RV service businesses around us. You've got digital access storage in the back, extra large buildings and drive-in meant for huge boats, RVs, and everything. So really proud of that. And then we have a mobile unit, of course, that services the greater Oklahoma City area.
Awesome.
Yes, sir.
Oh, and where can we find you? Do you have Instagram?
Yeah, you can find us on OKC On-Site Detailing on Instagram and Facebook. And then, of course, we have our Google page up where you can see over 120 five-star reviews.
We'll have that down in the link below. I'll put it on the link, and then I'll also make sure that we put the link to his pages. Okay.
Awesome.
Guys, it was songs.
Woo!
It's so good to be able to just
Thursdays are good, man. They're fun.